Alright, let's be honest guys, PlayStation Plus is insane. With so many games to choose from, it was hard to make this list, but we do have 50 of some of the best PlayStation Plus games you can play today that you don't want to miss out on. I'm Sunny here at PlayStation Central, and we kick this off with BloodBorne. This is an action-packed gothic horror game from the creators of Dark Souls, and this game's a must-play for fans craving intense gameplay and dark storytelling. Set in the grim and atmospheric city of Yarnam, BloodBorne takes you on a nightmarish hunt against grotesque and otherworldly creatures, but worry not guys, it does load you up with a variety of weapons, and each of these deadly weapons enough to blow these monsters to hell and help you explore intricate level designs and of course unravel a cryptic narrative. So if you guys got a taste for relentless, lightning fast combat where you've got to be quick on your feet while enjoying a twisted narrative, I think this game's gonna be for you. So we have the game Returnal. This is an exhilarating third-person shooter that puts you in the shoes of Celine, a space explorer who crash lands on a mysterious alien planet. But let me tell you this guys, Returnal is not your typical third-person shooter. It combines fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping action with some hardcore roguelike elements to create this super challenging but equally rewarding gameplay experience. And you'll be blasting your way through hordes of alien monsters, dodging attacks like a pro, and uncovering the secrets of the planet as you go. But you will explore a lot before you reach your goal. And death in this game throws you back to the crash site all over again. It even changes the layout of the world so you'll never experience the same run twice. So if you think you can handle the frustration of dying over and over again till you get the hang of this game, definitely you're going to want to give Returnal a shot. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up so we find new PS Plus gamers out there, and subscribe for more content like this. Well, what's there to say about Final Fantasy VII Remake, taking the beloved classic that I played back when I was a kid to a full remastered and now almost seemingly feels like a whole different game. It really does take the original from 1997 and bumps it up times 10. The combat is different. It's not turn-based, but full-on action and truly exhilarating. The story is obviously still super epic. Meanwhile, there is new story elements to explore, and if by some chance you guys haven't dived into a Final Fantasy game, or maybe you were turned off from the classic turn-based game back in 97, this one, Final Fantasy VII Remake, really comes in with a modern look and really refreshes the entire game, and it really makes it to a game that today we really recognize and can enjoy the crap out of. So if you're looking to dive into a Final Fantasy game, this is one of my favorites to explore. Now if you guys are a fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise like I am, PlayStation Plus offers you not one but two fan favorite AC games, including Odyssey and Origins, and while both are historically rich and detailed, I've got to hand it to Odyssey for really taking things up a notch. Set in ancient Greece, it offers a massive open world to explore, loaded with diverse cities, temples, and ruins just begging to be uncovered, and in true Assassin's Creed fashion, Odyssey lets you chart your own course, make choices, and weave through gripping storylines along with a boatload of side quests. And while it might not be the absolute pinnacle of the AC series, it really is undeniably one of the standout entries that you should definitely give a try with PS Plus. So Dead by Daylight is a pulse-pounding horror game that breaks the traditional boundaries of the genre to offer a unique gameplay experience. In Dead by Daylight, you're either one of the four survivors desperately trying to escape death, or you're a relentless killer who is trying to hunt them down. The game's genius lies in its asymmetrical design, which creates intense 4v1 matches that keep both sides at the edge of their seats at all times. As survivors, you need to rely on teamwork to outsmart the killer. You'll have to repair generators and make a daring escape. On the flip side though, playing as the killer, it's equally as thrilling. Each killer comes with their own unique abilities and gruesome methods of hunting down the survivors. Now some fans complain that the game's being a little bit biased towards the killers, but again, it's 4v1 and it's going to be just a little bit uneven at times, but it's still one of the best games on PS Plus. So City Skylines on PlayStation 4 is your ticket to becoming a city building genius. This game lets you unleash your creativity and urban planning skills, and you're in control of every aspect of city management, from zoning and infrastructure to managing the needs of your citizens. And this game lets you create this metropolis of your dreams and expansive maps and countless customization options. Whether you want to build a bustling city or a more tranquil countryside, really the choice is yours. With its user-friendly interface and deep gameplay mechanics, it's really the perfect game for players who want to craft and manage their own virtual cities on PlayStation. Now if you're looking for a more casual yet super rewarding adventure RPG title, Dave the Diver is a great choice. In this game you play as an old diver who explores the depths of the ocean during the day, and you'll be hunting down all sorts of underwater creatures with your trusty old harpoon. But by night, you're actually running this exotic sushi joint to make really big bucks. Dave the Diver offers quite a unique experience, mixing together adventure, RPG, and management, and you are not just hunting fishes, but you'll be exploring a massive and gorgeous underwater world. You'll be meeting a cast of colorful characters with their own stories, and by the way, they're really funny. And then you'll be taking on side quests, gathering resources, and even engaging in battles. And it all becomes so much better with a captivating storyline that'll keep you hooked all the way to the end. Dave the Diver has already received a ton of overwhelmingly positive reviews, and I think this is a must play if you love games. This is one of the best indie games to have come out in the past couple of years, and one you just don't want to miss. Thymesia is an intriguing action RPG that throws you into a dark and mysterious world filled with evil creatures and haunting landscapes. As Corvus, a character wielding the power of plague, you embark on a journey to recover your lost memory and uncover the secrets of this diseased kingdom. Now, the combat in this game is what really shines the brightest, as it combines fast-paced action with strategic elements, allowing you to harness the power of this deadly plague to defeat your enemies. And you'll be encountering challenging monsters and these huge bosses that'll test your skills and tactics, and it just goes perfectly well with the game's eerie atmosphere and dark world setting. This is really a hidden gem that offers a fresh take on the action RPG genre that I really think is worth trying out. Blasphemous is a dark Metroidvania adventure game that tells a twisted story with a deep and immersive lore. You play as this mysterious figure who is tasked to explore a grim world full of strange monsters and terrifying bosses. But what really makes Blasphemous stand out is the brutal combat and insane executions. You are constantly fighting enemies and bosses, each with their own unique pattern, which makes it all the more challenging but equally rewarding as well. And the good thing is you have an arsenal of deadly weapons at your disposal to slay these monsters and uncover the mysteries of this nightmarish world. Now, if you guys are into Metroidvanias with challenging gameplay and awesome combat, I think this is a great game to play. Now, if you played games from the popular Yakuza series, you're gonna feel right at home with Lost Judgment. It's a similar action-adventure game that puts you in the shoes of a badass detective who's basically a cross between Sherlock Holmes and like Bruce Lee, and the game has you solving some serious crimes in the city, and these cases are mostly wild, guys, but you're not just solving puzzles, you'll also be collecting clues, and you've got these sick combat skills with multiple fighting styles to choose from that really make the game exciting. And then when things go sideways, because they always do, you can throw some punches and kick the heck out of these criminals with your epic martial art moves. And just like other Yakuza games, Lost Judgment comes packed with tons of side activities and mini games to keep you engaged and entertained for many hours. So Scarlet Nexus is a sci-fi action RPG title where you take control of one of two heroes who are tasked to save humanity from an evil alien race called the Others. And luckily, you're not some ordinary humans yourselves. You have the power of psychokinesis that lets you use environmental objects as weapons, throwing cars with your mind, slashing enemies with psychic blades, and dodging attacks with lightning fast reflexes. And the combat is top notch, and it only becomes so much better with the vibrant anime style visuals. If you guys are into sci-fi adventures with a great story and lifelike characters, you're going to want to definitely check this one out. Demon's Souls was one of the first Souls games that I've ever played, and I still love it to this day, and I'm sure many of you guys do as well. It's like the Dark Souls series before Dark Souls was even a thing. This 2020 version is a faithful recreation of the cult classic RPG that brings back the fan favorite gameplay with some quality of life improvements and modern additions to the game. Now, this game's all about action and precision, as you are constantly fighting nasty creatures and fearsome bosses who are just waiting to tear you limb from limb. And while fighting is as always a massive part of this game, it's not all you're going to be doing. When you're not busy fighting monsters, you'll actually explore this dark and gothic world filled with crumbling castles, haunted forests, and all sorts of spooky stuff. And it only gets better with the music that really takes the immersion to a whole new level. Now, God of War needs no introduction at all. It's a game that's very close to my heart, and for obvious reasons, and I'm talking about God of War 2018. Now, I feel like it's not an overstatement to say that this is one of the best games of all time. This game has everything right, from the story to the whole world design, and of course the combat. Everything in this game is just simply amazing. And as soon as you step into the God of War's Norse-inspired universe, it really hooks you with its breathtaking visuals and even better story that is filled with unexpected twists and turns. And as you dive deeper, it becomes more complex but never too complicated. And the gameplay is just really insane. As the story itself, it makes you feel like you're actually in Kratos' shoes as he takes on these colossal monsters by pulling pulling off some epic combos just at the right time. And then there's the father-son bonding. It really creates moments that stick with you for a long time after the game's over. This is simply a must play. Alright, let's spice things up a little bit with a pinch of gore, and what better game than Mortal Kombat 11, the 11th main installment in this series that's loved by millions of fans from all around the world, including myself. With Mortal Kombat 11, you get to choose from a roster of new and old characters, and I really love that because unlike Mortal Kombat 10, Mortal Kombat 11 doesn't keep its focus on just new characters but also brings back the old ones, and it also introduces new and gruesome fatalities and brutalities that really can keep you hyped up. And with the help of a brand new graphics engine, it really shows every little detail. You can feel the impact of every single hit, and let's be real, what really keeps us folks coming back for more is pretty much the whole over-the-top gameplay. It's just that kind of stuff that really keeps your adrenaline pumping. Our next game is Immortals Fenyx Rising. This is another action-packed adventure that puts you in the shoes of a fierce warrior with a divine mission, and that's save the gods from the wicked Typhon. This game's all about exploring a massive open world packed with brain-teasing puzzles, mythical beasts, deities, and more, and the game draws its inspiration from Greek mythology to really craft a world that's truly one of a kind, and it keeps you guessing every step of the way. A few things that I really love about this game are the puzzles. They all feel really unique and they're not repetitive, despite the game heavily relying on them. And the weapons, they really impact your playstyle, pushing you to experiment around before sticking with the ones that really you enjoy. The only thing that was kind of hit or miss were the dialogues, but I guess that's kind of a minor trade-off for what I feel is a pretty epic adventure. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End is one of my personal favorites from the Uncharted series, and for many good reasons. For one, the game adds more depth to the already rich lore of the series with the help of notes that are scattered around the massive world that the player collects. And speaking of a massive game world, Uncharted also gives you more freedom to explore your own decisions and pave your own path as you explore the surroundings. But of course, it's the gunplay mechanics that'll keep you hooked for many hours. You get to take out your targets with stealth or dive right into the action with your grappling hook. Uncharted 4 is a treasure trove of adventure, action, and storytelling excellence, and one that I don't want you guys to miss out on, so make sure you play this one. If you're looking for a pretty unique game with some real thrill and drama, PayDay 2 Crimewave Edition's that game. It's an adrenaline-pumping cooperative heist game that puts you in the shoes of a master criminal. You and your crew plan and execute various high-stake robberies from banks to art galleries, all while trying to evade law enforcement. And the game offers a deep customization system, allowing you to tailor your character and loadout to your preferred playstyle. Team coordination and strategy are key as you work together to complete objectives and escape with the loot. This is a fantastic choice if you're looking for a co-op experience filled with high-stake heists and strategic gameplay, or guys, play this completely solo and do some silent, quiet heists for a crazy cool gameplay experience. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up so we find new PS Plus gamers out there, and subscribe for more content like this. Now, It Takes Two is easily one of the best couch co-op games that you can pick up and just play anytime. In this game, you and your partner step into the shoes of a married couple who have been magically transformed into dolls and then thrown into a world that's filled with hostile creatures, challenging obstacles, and mind-bending puzzles. Now, the only way you can get back to your human form is to work together through these challenges, and the game really is a co-op delight. It never lets you get bored as you constantly face new challenges, you meet new characters, and you try to maneuver your way through this ever-changing obstacles and enemies that are just coming at you. And sometimes it can be as easy as just jumping across the platforms. Other times you might have to blast your way through hordes of hostile bees. If you want to spend some quality time with your loved one or just a buddy this summer or this fall or this winter playing games, this is one of the best ones you can play, and it's a great game even if the person you're playing with has never really gotten into video games. I would know, I've gotten my own significant other to play this and she never plays games, so this is a good one to play and one of the best, if not the very best, co-op game on PlayStation Plus. So we have the game Remnant 2. This is the direct sequel to the highly acclaimed From the Ashes title, where you play as one of the few survivors left on the planet, and you have now teamed up to go against these massive monsters and these evil gods. Now, this sequel really cranks everything up, from action to loot, even the boss battles to the max. On top of that, Remnant 2 looks stunning on PlayStation 5 thanks to Unreal Engine's 5 immense capabilities. And this game's a great option for us gamers who want to enjoy a more fair-to-play multiplayer shooter experience that doesn't push them to spend money in the game for things they don't actually need. And for me, guys, in my time with this on PlayStation, it's been one of the more fun games to really dive into recently, and I just couldn't recommend it more. In what some might call the greatest of all time of open world games, I bring you Red Dead Redemption 2. And guys, what is there to say about this game? It's a literal masterpiece. Set in 1899, you follow Arthur Morgan, and he's a member of a gang, and he'll be be navigating the decline of the Old West. Now, the game itself is a literal sandbox. You can do many activities, things like hunting, fishing, maintaining your gang's camp, and a lot more. And the story here really shines in this game, with the storytelling being really top notch. And I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't played it, but it's really good. Then there's the gameplay. This is some of the most fun you can have. The gunfights feel really like insane when you're battling it out in the Wild West. It really feels like you're in the Wild West, just rootin' tootin' and shooting people left and right. The gameplay is insanely fun with a gamepad. It's one of the few shooters that I actually really enjoy with a gamepad, and overall it's one of the most, if not the most immersive Wild West game to ever be made. If you're looking for one of the best on PlayStation Plus, Red Dead Redemption 2 is where it's at. The Wolfenstein franchise has given us some great first-person shooters, and Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, is definitely one of the finest of the bunch. It's a high-octane first-person shooter that takes players on a thrilling journey to liberate America from Nazi occupation. As BJ, you fight against the oppressive regime, battling through intense firefights and uncovering dark secrets along the way. The game's known for its over-the-top action, creative weaponry, and the darkly satirical storyline that explore themes of resistance and freedom. And of course, it does come with a lot of gore and bloodshed, so if you think you can stomach that, I think this is a great game to play on PlayStation Plus. We have the game Disco Elysium: The Final Cut, and I don't think indie games get any better than this. This non-traditional RPG title puts you in the shoes of a detective tasked with solving a murder mystery, but unlike most RPGs, there's very little combat here. Instead, you resolve events through skill checks and dialogue trees that could change the whole course of your journey. But it's not all serious detective work. There's plenty of humor and quirkiness to keep things very interesting. From strange characters to witty dialogues, the game catches you off guard with like these unexpected twists. But it's the story here that really takes the crown. It makes you feel like you're diving into a gripping mystery novel that keeps you at the very edge of your seat all the way to the very end. Our next game's GhostRunner. This is an adrenaline-fueled first-person action game that immerses player in a dystopian cyberpunk world, and in this game you play as a powerful cyber warrior known as the GhostRunner on a mission to uncover the secrets of the towering Dharma Tower and taking down its authoritarian ruler. And the game's known for its lightning fast and parkour style movements and intense sword combat. You'll be dashing, you'll be wall running, and you'll be performing acrobatic maneuvers while slicing through enemies with your deadly katana. The gameplay demands precision and quick reflexes as you navigate challenging levels and you face off against powerful enemies. It's one of the most unique takes on the post-apocalyptic settings we've ever really seen in a while. So Dragon Ball Z Fighter is a great game for someone who just wants to blow off some steam with their buddies in intense 1v1 fights, or enjoy an amazing single-player story mode in the DBZ universe. And this game lets you step into the shoes of your favorite characters, from Goku to Vegeta to Frieza and even Cell, as you battle it out even with lightning-fast combos, devastating power moves, and explosive energy blasts. And it all becomes so much better with the stunning anime-inspired graphics, smoothing animations, and awesome visual effects. It just adds more impact to every move you do. And what I really love about this game is that it's accessible to players of all skill levels. It's easy to pick up and play, but requires a ton of practice to chain together the combos and unleash the ultimate power moves. This is a great game if you love arcade fighters, especially if you love Dragon Ball Z. So Dishonored 2 is a game that takes stealth action to a whole new level, combining intense gameplay with a gripping story and an immersive world. And the cool part is you get to choose between two characters at the start, a guy named Corvo, the hero from the first game, or you can play as Emily, an empress with some seriously cool new powers. And each character has their own unique abilities, which means that you can play this game in completely different ways depending on who you pick. Dishonored 2 keeps you hooked from start to the very end with its gripping story and the freedom to choose your own path with the decisions that you make. It's a great choice for anyone who loves a mix of stealth, action, and some really awesome deep storytelling. Now, if you're an old-timer looking for a dose of nostalgia or a fan of classic arcade shooters, Doom Eternal is that perfect game. Now, at first I was a little skeptical about whether or not Eternal will do justice of the original game, but guys, man, it really did. It's a thrilling homage to the iconic Doom series that immediately transports you back to the frenetic and brutal gameplay of the original. Stepping into the shoes of the Demon Slayer, the nostalgia hits you like a ton of bricks. It's a glorious feeling. Just like the original, it hooks you up with a wide variety of weapons, including the iconic shotgun, rocket launcher, and the new Crucible sword, each with their own unique abilities and upgrades, which, guys, you'll definitely need as you face increasingly challenging and diverse enemies along the way. And this has some of the best fast-paced action combat combat you'll see in any game. Now, if you're looking for a more classic RPG experience, PlayStation Plus gives you access to not only one but over 5 different games from the Dragon Quest series. And while I'd love to leave it to you to decide which one's worth your while, guys, I just can't help but recommend Dragon Quest XI: Echoes of an Elusive Age. It's the 11th main installment in the long-running series that continues the tradition of delivering a classic and engaging JRPG experience. The game combines a compelling story with traditional turn-based combat, offering a mix of exploration, character development, and epic battles. This is a worthy title for fans of classic JRPGs. Moving on, we have the game Riders Republic. This is an exhilarating and vibrant sports game that promises an absolute blast for enthusiasts of skiing, biking, and extreme sports. Now, I know how difficult it can be to get sports games to kind of perform like real-life sports, but props to the developers of Riders Republic. It combines a number of sports into one single package. Whether you're shredding the slopes on skis, you're hitting the trails on a bike, or you're just soaring through the air in a wingsuit, there's really something for everyone. And of course, some of the trick mechanics in this game can be a little bit unrealistic, but that's kind of to be expected with so much going on in this game. I love how this game lets you compete with over 50 players at the same time in a massive multiplayer playground, offering some really intense and dynamic competition. Alright, so Fallout 4 might not be the absolute best Fallout in the series, but it's definitely on my top 3 Fallout games. And for those who've been procrastinating about starting the game, I think this is going to be the perfect time to start, especially if you have that active PS Plus subscription. In this game, you play as the sole survivor of Vault 111, and you're desperate to find your kidnapped son in this desolate wasteland of the Commonwealth. Throughout this journey, you'll encounter a wide range of characters and factions and creatures, all with their own stories, agendas, and intriguing tasks for you to actually tackle. The game really tests your moral compass by putting you in difficult situations that, depending on your choice, will change the actual course of the entire game. If you guys love RPGs, I think this is one you absolutely have to give a shot to. So I'm not really big into Metroidvanias, but even I've had a blast playing Hollow Knight, and it's possibly considered maybe the best Metroidvania of all time. The game's just brilliant. You play as a knight exploring a vast interconnected set of caverns, and you'll be battling a variety of challenging enemies and uncovering ancient secrets. It's a really tight platforming game. It's got a hauntingly beautiful art style and an engaging combat that really keeps you hooked for a ton of hours. And even if you've played this game already, you might want to give it another shot while you wait for the sequel that's literally just around the corner. If you guys haven't played Hollow Knight, or you just want to like give a game a shot that you're not used to maybe on your list, this is one of those games that's one of the best indie games of all time, and it's just one I couldn't recommend more. Now, if you're tired of modern FPS games and you're looking for some traditional hand-to-hand combat or maybe some sword fights, you'll definitely love Ghost of Tsushima. It's an open world action adventure game that takes players away to feudal Japan. Now, as Jin Sakai, a samurai warrior, you must adapt and become the ghost to protect your homeland from Mongol invaders. The game's stunning open world, inspired by Japanese landscapes and culture, is really a marvel to explore. And of course, you'll be engaging in some epic sword fights and mastering stealthy tactics and embarking on a quest for vengeance, all while immersing yourself in a rich cinematic story. I really think it's a must-play for those who crave an authentic samurai experience on PlayStation. Now, if you love innovative indie games and you still haven't played the game Hello Neighbor, I think you're in luck. This is a good one, and I know it's a little bit different from the rest of this list, but if you have PlayStation Plus, you can really get yourself tons of hours and intense gameplay. In this game, you play as the role of a curious guy who becomes suspicious of their neighbor's strange behavior, and now your goal is to sneak into this neighbor's house, uncover their secrets, and reveal the mystery that lies in their basement. But guys, here's the twist. This neighbor's actually laced with highly intelligent AI that learns from your actions, and before you know it, he ends up onto you. And I know that this game's a little different from the rest of this list, but I feel like this is kind of a hidden gem that you should absolutely discover. Now, there's a very good chance you've played the game Just Cause 4, but if you haven't, I really think you need to give this one a shot, especially if you happen to have PlayStation Plus. It's an explosive open world action adventure game that delivers a sandbox of chaos and mayhem. You play a darling operative named Rico Rodriguez, who finds himself in the fictional South American country of Solis, which is under the tyrannical rule of the Black Hand Parliamentary Organization. And what's your role? It's to uncover the truth behind your father's past and liberate the people of Solis from this oppressive rule. And luckily though, you have an array of weapons and gadgets and vehicles at your disposal to get really creative on how you handle all of this. So we have the game Prey. It's a gripping sci-fi thriller that throws players into a mind-bending narrative set aboard the Talos. This is a futuristic space station orbiting the moon in 2032, and in this game you play as Morgan Yu, a space explorer who wakes up to a chilling reality. Galaxy. The once groundbreaking experiment hub for reshaping humanity has become a chaotic nightmare. There's hostile aliens and grotesque mutants who have taken over and transforming this station into really a deadly battleground, and you're really forced to rely on your wits and your weapons to make it out alive. But can you? That's the question, and it's why I think you guys should give Prey a shot. Now, we can't have a list like this without adding the game Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, one of Insomniac's game's masterpieces. And in this installment in the long-running series, it offers a thrilling adventure through a mind-bending universe filled with parallel worlds and alternate versions of familiar characters. The game features breathtakingly detailed environments, fluid animations, and fast-paced combat that takes full advantage of PlayStation's new hardware. It's a delightful mix of platforming, shooting, and puzzle solving with an array of imaginative weapons and gadgets at your disposal that'll keep you guys immersed for many hours. So we have the game Assetto Corsa Competizione. I think that means competition. I really struggled to pronounce that, but it's one of the most accurate racing simulators available on PlayStation Plus, and Competizione brings the thrilling experience of GT World Challenge racings to your fingertips. The game's loved for its authentic driving experience that brilliantly replicates the performance of real-world GT cars. Now, graphically, Assetto Corsa Competition is a visual feast. It delivers photorealistic rendering, lifelike car materials, and stunning weather conditions, but let me tell you guys, it's nothing like other racing games out there, which might make you feel a little lost at first, but once you get a hold of it, you can really feel the thrill of being in the cockpit of a real racing car. Now, Death Stranding is a type of game that grabs you from the get-go. You step into the shoes of Sam Bridges in a world that's, well, pretty messed up. The Death Stranding event has unleashed all sorts of bizarre creatures, and it's left society in tatters, and your job's to simply bring back hope to this desolate world. The story unfolds in chapters, and you meet some pretty fascinating characters along the way, each with their own stories and experiences to share with you. And it definitely takes time to flesh things out, but that's exactly what makes Death Stranding's story so captivating. The gameplay is good, but it's the game's narrative that keeps you wanting to explore every single lore, heck, even watch all the cutscenes. So if you love a good slow burn story, definitely you're going to want to have this one on your radar. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up so we find new PS Plus gamers out there, and subscribe for more content like this. Now, if you're looking for a unique Metroidvania adventure, you should definitely give Animal Well a shot. It's a brand new puzzle platformer where you play as a jiggly blob character exploring a labyrinth filled with a strange and sometimes cute looking animals. Your goal in this game is to explore this massive interconnected maze, collect valuable items, and survive the horrors of this unknown world. And you do that by exploring the environment around you to uncover secrets and solve puzzles. Now, let me tell you guys, there's absolutely no hand holding in this game. You have to figure things out on your own, which might not be ideal for some, but it makes every discovery feel like a really big win. And while it might not look too challenging, the game is super in-depth and it's packed with surprises, from hidden pathways to treasures. There's always something new and exciting really waiting to be found. Now, there's only a handful of top-down shooters in the gaming world that I'd actually recommend, and the Ascent is one of them. It's an epic-looking action RPG that puts you in the shoes of an indentured worker who finds himself in the midst of a power struggle after a mega corporation that owns everyone, and it suddenly collapsed. Now it's up to you to put an end to this chaos before it's too late. The Ascent offers intense action-packed combat where you can customize and upgrade your character with cyberware, weapons, and gear, and you can choose to play alone in single player or tag along with your buddies in co-op multiplayer modes for a ton of fun. Check out this one if you're looking for something a little bit different on this list. Enter the Gungeon is an amazing bullet hell roguelike title that throws you into this insane dungeon filled with all sorts of enemies, traps, and of course guns. From pistols and shotguns to laser beams and even rocket launchers, really there's a weapon for every situation. And Enter the Gungeon offers a fast-paced gunplay that's all about precision movement and split-second reflexes. And while it gets even more challenging with the wide variety of bosses that this game has to offer, each one's like a puzzle just waiting to be solved, with unique attack patterns and strategies that you have to discover on the fly. If you're looking for something fast-paced and that'll challenge your gaming skills, this is the game to go for. Now, if you're into couch co-op games and you have some friends over or some family and you haven't played already, or you have played Overcooked and Overcooked 2, this is a good one to dive into. Overcooked 2 is a game that's as chaotic as it is fun. In this game, you and your buddies run a kitchen, but not just any kitchen. We're talking about the most hectic kitchens in the world that defy the laws of physics and sanity. The game's all about teamwork and timing. You and your buddies have to work together to prep, cook, cook and serve meals to a hungry horde of customers, while also dealing with accidental fires, random explosions, loud shouting, and kitchens that are constantly shifting around. Overcooked 2 offers endless replayability with new levels introducing new challenges that really test your skills and patience. So Warhammer Vermintide 2 is the direct sequel to the critically acclaimed Vermintide that continues the legacy of its predecessor and takes the gameplay to a whole new level. This game's often compared with Left 4 Dead, and sure, the first Vermintide had some similarities, but this sequel has really upped the game with new and improved gameplay mechanics, and this being an RPG title, it doesn't confine you to your typical RPG roles like a healer or tank. In Vermintide 2, your role is defined by what you do best, whether it's killing hordes, hunting elites, or tackling colossal monsters. And speaking of battles, Vermintide 2 also features a more complex combat system with attack moves, evades, parries, buffs, weak points, and so much more. And I guess that's what makes Vermintide 2 one of the most loved games in the Warhammer series and why it's on today's list. Now, if you're looking for a racing game that gives you total freedom, the Crew 2 is the one to go for. The game is literally massive in terms of the game world. And when I say massive, I mean massive. It lets you race across parts of the United States, whether you want to tear up the streets of New York City, cruise through the swamps of Louisiana, or even soar over the Grand Canyon in a plane. Now, it might not be the best racing game out there, but it makes it up with huge amounts of content. There's over 500 different vehicles to choose from, including cars, boats, and even airplanes. And then there are even crazy customization options that let you fully customize your rides from the inside out. It's truly amazing. The Crew 2 has the potential to keep you hooked for many hours, and it's why it's on today's list as well. Now, one of the most underrated games on this list that deserves a spotlight is Control Ultimate Edition. This is an absolute mindbender of a game that deserves all the praise it gets. First off, the storytelling in Control is top-notch. It's cryptic and intriguing, and it keeps you hooked from start to finish. As Jesse, the new director of the FBC, you're on a mission to uncover the secrets behind the supernatural phenomena and your brother's disappearance. And I really love the combat in this game. It's equally fun and intense. It combines telekinesis, supernatural powers, and a shape-shifting gun that allows you to throw objects, levitate, and blast enemies in epic battles that really make you feel like a true badass. It's a game that I wouldn't hesitate to recommend, especially if you have that PS Plus subscription. Life is Strange has produced some very enticing choice-driven adventure games, and True Colors is maybe one of the best among it. It introduces a new character to the series, Alex Chen, who happens to have supernatural ability to sense, absorb, and manipulate emotions, and that adds a unique twist to the story, setting the stage for an emotionally charged mystery. The development and depth of the characters are notably improved compared to the previous entries in the series, and while I'm not going to go deep into the story so I don't ruin it, I must say it really does keep you hooked from the get-go. Alex's ability to tap into people's thoughts and feelings is not only a unique gameplay mechanic, but also an effective way to make characters feel authentically human. It's a game that keeps you immersed with its emotional power twist while offering a visually stunning experience. Alright, let's take a short break from all the chaos and embark on a tranquil indie adventure in Lake. This game is set in the picturesque town of Providence Oak, and the game follows the story of Meredith. This is a woman who takes a break from her busy city life to temporarily fill in as a mail carrier for her parents, and the visuals are soothing, and the attention to detail in recreating a 19 rural town is really impressive. Lake is a super relaxing adventure that has you delivering mail to the town folk and engaging in heartwarming conversations with them. However, the game's not for everyone. It's a slow-paced experience with no action or high-stakes drama. If that's what you need and you want something a lot more relaxing, this is the game to go to. So we have the game Desperados 3. It's one of the best tactical stealth games that comes packed with a compelling story, gorgeous visuals, brilliant voice acting, and tons of thrilling quests. Desperados 3 throws you into the Wild West to pull some epic heists with your ragtag group of outlaws, and each member of your heist crew has their own unique skills and abilities that you gotta put to good use. The game's all about outsmarting your enemies, whether it's sneaking past them without getting detected, taking them out with a sniper from a distance, or setting traps like a true hunter. One of the things that I love about this game is that it offers a lot of replayability. With multiple characters to play as and different paths to take in each level, you can tackle each mission in a ton of different ways. It's definitely a great choice if you're a fan of strategy games. So the game What Remains of Edith Finch is one of the more hidden gems on this list, and in video video games in general. It's one of the most unique and innovative indie games as well. Now in this game you step into the shoes of Edith Finch, and she's going to be exploring her family's quirky and mysterious home. As you wander through its strange rooms, you uncover the stories of Edith's relatives. But here's the twist. Each story is a mini game in itself, with its own unique style and gameplay. What Remains of Edith Finch is a storytelling masterpiece. If you're into narrative-driven games that take you on an emotional journey, this is the one for you. The only downside though, it's a bit short. You'll likely finish it in one go and wish there was a lot more. Alright, so Detroit Become Human is a true masterpiece of storytelling and character development. Set in a near-future Detroit, the story revolves around three main characters, each with their own unique experiences and dilemmas, and the game explores themes like artificial intelligence, modern technology, human freedom, and even the essence of humanity itself. The gameplay revolves around exploration, dialogue choices, and quick time events, and it often puts you in difficult situations, forcing you to make moral choices that are complex and thought-provoking. It's less about action and more about decision making and its consequences. And Detroit Become Human is one of the richest experiences I've ever had in gaming, and it's why I think it deserves to be on this list and why you should give it a shot. Now it's time for some space exploration with Deliver Us to the Moon. This is a fairly short sci-fi space adventure game that puts you in the boots of a lone astronaut, and your mission is to figure out what happened to a failed lunar colony and retrieve a new energy source that could save the planet from a deadly energy crisis. The game features an immersive storyline, thrilling exploration, and a sense of isolation as you explore this abandoned lunar base and uncover its mysteries. Now, with its realistic visuals and a hauntingly beautiful lunar landscape, Deliver Us to the Moon is a game that keeps you immersed solely with its story and narrative without any real combat, which is very rare these days. If you enjoyed your time in Horizon Zero Dawn, you'll undoubtedly love Horizon Forbidden West. It's the direct sequel to Zero Dawn that picks up right where the first game left off. With Aloy still on her mission to save the world, the machines are back and there's a bunch of new ones as well, but that's not it. Everything from the skill tree to combat has also gotten updated. That combined with the new weapons added to the game, you get to enjoy some seriously satisfying battles against these colossal monsters. And when you're not busy fighting monsters, you can explore its massive open world filled with tons of exciting things to do, from exploring cauldrons to finding side quests and rebel bases. There's really a lot going for this game. It's one of my absolute favorite games on this list, and it's one that's absolutely worth your time. With that, if you want to check out some more awesome PlayStation Plus games, check out that video on the screen.